Hello, guys. How are you guys doing? Even though we've been hanging out already for like 45 minutes.
Are we going to keep talking? I think we're done,
Coffee
right?
shop.
Covered everything?
Yeah, we covered everything. Call it a day. It's a wrap.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll get some Mexican food and
Nice talking with you guys.
Yeah, that's good. Have a good one.
Ooh, what's the one with the hot Cheeto burrito?
Don't know.
Those were like...
I don't even know.
There's two of them on Union, like 2 blocks apart from each other.
That was pandemic life for me.
Yeah, there's one.
Really?
There's one on the south side and one on the northbound.
You ate
lane.
burritos a lot during the pandemic?
My wife was pregnant.
Oh, yes.
So she already loves hot Cheetos in general.
So
and
you had
then,
to go
so I was like,
get
hey,
burritos.
you know what they have? And so then it was over after that. And then I was like, dang it, we're doing this again? But, whatever she wants.
So the audience knows the name of the man that went and got his wife hot Cheeto burritos during the pandemic. What is their first and last name?
Oh, yeah. Nate Parrish.
And then you, sir?
I'm Dan Thompson.
Dan Thompson. All righty. So, well, let's get into this Nile thing. That's why we're here for anyway. We want to talk about it. From the beginning, how did you guys, again, not everybody knows, right? I do kind of know. How did you guys get in with the Nile and all that good stuff? And how did you get the gig? And tell us a little bit about history between you and the Nile.
Oh, me and the Nile. So I moved to Bakersfield in 2016. I took a job. Me and my wife took a job at a church downtown that was meeting in the Nile, and they had just purchased it. It was a nightclub. I'm going to look at Dan, and because Dan was there. He could fact check me. He was already there. Yeah. But it was a nightclub, and the owner came to the church on a Sunday, right? And he loved it and whatever. And he was like, why don't you guys just take this building?
Oh, really? That's how that happened?
Yeah, right?
Please take this.
He's like, hey, you guys, this is great what you're doing. Just you should buy this building. Really? And do the church thing. And so we did. So that's how I met Dan. Dan was actually on the worship team. So we played, I think when I got there, you had not missed a Sunday, and it was like 5 years, 7 years?
Longer than that.
Yeah. 100 years, something like that. So he played every Sunday for 100 years.
Since 1978.
Yeah. So that's how we met. And anyway, so the Nile was where I worked. It was also down the street from where I lived. So I lived a block over in the Lofts, which Alan was... I did not know.
Which one right next to right now?
Yeah, Alan is right back there. Yeah. He was, I'm going to say this not just because it's on the pod. He's my favorite neighbor. Yeah. Because I saw Alan 3 times.
Yeah.
In 4 years. Yeah. He was so quiet.
He's the best neighbor.
He's the best.
I would imagine anyway.
And then they're like, oh yeah, he does this podcast. I was like, that's what he does.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out.
This crazy stuff in here.
Yeah, it's really cool. But so anyway, so I was at the Nile, all that stuff. Church there, doing events, lived down the street. That was a lot of where I spent a lot of time there. Yeah. And then during the pandemic, we had to shut that stuff down, blah, blah, blah. It never really recovered. People were just not ready to get back in that building. We tried a few times. Dan was with me on that, and it just never clicked. So we kept, we would use it for like events, or people could rent it for, I think we did like a prom there one time. Oh, wow. Yeah, so we would do things with the building, and then honestly, it was me and you were outside of Dagny's. You remember this?
Is that when that came into your mind when we were talking?
Not quite, but like I wasn't trying to verbalize it because I didn't want to like make promises, like because I'm like an idea guy. Like someone will be like, say something, I'm like, I could just go. I don't even hear them anymore. I just run down the rabbit trail of like all the possibilities, cool things that we can do. Sure. And then I have to come back to reality. Oh, never mind. So I really wanted to, but we were talking about doing more shows together. Yeah. And then it just clicked. It's like, well, you ever been in the Nile before? And no one has been.
Well, I went to one little mini festival. So I went to the church for a little while in 2015, which apparently I just now learned this as we speak, that it was still being rented by the church at that point. Is that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, and then before that in 2012, there was some Bakersfield music festival there. It was like a one-off thing. Okay. But I remember it was like one of those things where like half the day, but then that was like, I'm pretty sure that was it. And I just remember the flyer had like a tree on it and there was like 10 bands. And I want to say it was some kind of competition. Okay. We didn't play it, Red Adair was, brand new by that point, but I remember some of us guys went over there and watched it. But that was all my experience was with the Nile. Okay. So yeah.
I saw comedian Harlan Williams there years ago, probably like 15, almost 20 years ago.
Oh, dang.
So I learned a little bit of the history of it, and it was a theater and all these things. But when we bought the building, we did some things, did some soundproofing. We put in a screen that comes out of the floor for like live streaming and things like that. Put up some LED screens, we kind of added some things over time to dress it up. But anyway, so man, it's such a cool venue, and we had done like worship nights there. I recorded a live stream there, so there was no audience. Right on. But just because the building is so rad, inside
it looks cool in there.
It's just a great venue. So, we were talking. I was just thinking, and this is when like there were like, talk out there of like the Fox maybe wanting to buy it or stuff like that. And I was like, I kind of have an in here.
Yeah, and because you knew, is it Matt at the Fox? Or no?
Yeah, I knew Matt. We had done our church with Dan. We had done Christmas services there.
Okay.
So we did twice
at the Fox?
At the Fox, yeah.
Okay, so that's how you built the started building the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Matt's always been super cool, and we had because we both have marquees, right? So we would trade letters, because those are really hard to find. I don't know if you know this, but those are
I didn't even think about that.
Super hard to find and buy.
They're like, so you're I need an N, well, I need a P.
Yeah, exactly. So we would trade. And then when I started doing my solo project, he asked me to do a live stream with Modern Wise. Mm-hmm. And so we did a live stream together. And that was actually my first show as a
Well, that's where the cool video... Is that where the video took place?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. That was a different...
Yeah, we shot... That video you're talking about, we shot at the Civic Center, which is now the Rabobank Theater.
Okay.
No, it's Mechanics Bank Theater.
Gotcha. I just remember
they changed the names every 5 years, so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. I just remember there was a lot of seats in the background. It was really cool, so I just... Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we had that relationship, and then also I was still working at the church, and we still own the building. And so basically, I kind of floated the idea, hey, no, you guys want to do more events? What if I did a concert there? Yeah. They're like, yeah. And it's, even though I work there, I have to still rent it. It's expensive. And so our sound guy, Justin, was like, well, why don't you just ask Matt? You already know him. They're interested in it. Ask him if you just want to do a show there just to see what happens.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, dude.
Yeah.
So after we talked,
you went and...
I went and I shot him a text, and he was like, yes, thank you for asking.
Really? That's cool.
I was like, yeah.
And this happened.
He's like, yeah, let's do it.
This all went in your head because you knew Matt, and then you, correct me if I'm wrong, you knew that they were already, and I might just, correct me if I'm screwing up my knowledge or lack thereof here. You knew that the Fox was possibly thinking about buying that out, building out to do more smaller acts or something like that. And that was already something they were thinking about.
Yes.
Then you talked to Matt, and you're like, "Hey, let's kind of see what happens."
There had been, they just showed interest. There was no deals. There was no anything. It was just they showed interest. We were like, "Cool, that sounds cool." And even if just leasing it to do events,
sure,
yeah, okay, just you renting the building to do concerts,
right.
So I thought, well, I have kind of a unique window here where I'm a local artist, play shows. I have the ability to kind of bridge that gap where maybe other bands don't even know that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to try it. And so asked him, he said, yeah. We met, and I was like, I'm going to pick 5 of my friends that I want to play with.
Everybody I've told about this is like, they're having music at the Nile again. I'm like, well, I know they are July the 1st.
Yeah.
I don't know what, ask Nate. I don't know any details.
So I put the roster together. I wish I could have more bands, but obviously,
only so much time.
Only so much you could do there. So, and then, it's like, hey, Matt, let's do it. We picked the date, worked out the details, and there we are.
So you have a lot of history, Dan, with the Nile, arguably more than him, even though he works for it. You know what I mean? So he saw a comedy act. I saw a one-off band competition or something like that in 2012, and then it was the church. What was the name of the church again?
Resurrection Church.
That's right. I shouldn't know that, but anyway, then it was a church for quite a while. And do you never missed a Sunday? At the church. Play worship there. How does the room sound? How is all that cool stuff? What is it? Is it
better than it used to?
Is it cool? Was it too echoey or
when
something?
we first moved in there? It was rough. It was not treated for sound at all.
Made for plays or something like that. Or? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean it was a movie theater for a long time in the 90s. It was it was a dollar theater.
I didn't even know that. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And it was not acoustically treated. Sound system was terrible. It was super echoey, and we were still using onstage wedges and stuff like that. So it was an echo chamber.
Really? Yeah. And then what do they do? Soundproofing stuff on the walls?
Yeah, they did sound treatments on the walls, and it's gotten considerably better.
Cool.
You can hear vocals now, which is a win.
That's usually good when you have music.
I suppose.
Yeah, depends.
Well, it depends on
Depends on who's singing.
Depends on the vocalist. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know there's certain shows that I played where it's probably better for just not to hear me right now. You know, that's happened before.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys both know how that goes.
Yes, sir.
Being a singer, some days you're just like, what? But am I even real right now?
Yeah, you
I'm a
guys sing
singer,
it. You
come
do
on.
you back away from the mic.
Yeah.
You guys know it.
Yeah.
And they don't.
That's just sing the chorus. The two people that actually know the words to my songs, because I can't sing
Sing it,
tonight.
Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a bit of a history though.
Modern Wives kind of incubated in that building, kind of like.
Yeah, get into that a little bit.
Tyler and I were both on the worship team at the church.
Yeah.
Before Nate was hired, Tyler and I he's the drummer, I was the bass player, and we did that for years. And then our current singer, Maddie, was one of the worship singers there. And
awesome.
Yeah, like Modern Wives kind of formed with me and Tyler hanging out in that building and being like, we should.
Did you guys ever get there
this
early and do a little sound check on work on some Modern Wives riffs for a second before the service started?
One of the songs on our second record was actually written on that stage. It was a bass riff that I'd come up with, and
I remember seeing Tyler play drums for a long time now. Remember he was a Legion of Thieves, was it called? Liars and Thieves. That was it. Yes.
Ooh, I like Legions of Thieves.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that's that's my buddy Darren's band. Can't take that. I got my Thieves bands mixed up. Legion of Thieves is like a decade after Liars and Thieves and completely different style music. But Liars and Thieves was really cool. I remember that's when I first started.
Well, and Raul, the guitar player in Modern Wives, was the bass player in Liars and Thieves.
That's why he looks familiar, and I can't ever put my finger on. Okay,
Bakersfield.
Yeah, I know. So you guys all met there. You got a cool band. You're on the Modern Wives is on the bill, obviously.
It's like a homecoming. Yeah, come homing.
That's right.
It's a come homing.
That's what we're calling it. Yeah.
What of a? And again, you can just tell me you can't answer that if it's too much. But what's the possibility you think of, like? Is it possible this could become like an actual thing that happens on a regular basis in the future, you think? Like, or how possible?
All things are possible, Michael.
All things are possible. Because I ask that because, like, and again, I don't want you to have to feel like you might get in trouble if you say too much or something like that, right? But people are definitely interested.
Yeah. Well, I have a prepared statement. Can I read it?
Do it. Get your paper out.
No. I think it's definitely possible. You guys got to come to the show.
Yeah. So, audience, if you're watching this, just come to the show.
It's going to be rad.
Tickets are only $80 because we're
$80, VIP. No, $15. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I mean, honestly, the bands are great. But it's just that it's an experience. Like, there hasn't been music like that, and there's been other things, but nothing like that where it's a public.
Kind of gets into what we were just talking about, and I think I've talked to you about this before, and I may have even had this. We did right before Nate got there, I think, but a lot of great rock and roll bands, and for the big, lack of a better specific name for band to band, wouldn't necessarily call them as rock. But you know what I mean, though, for the vague genre. Explanation of it, a lot of loud bands that are cool and sound really good, and we all like go to each other's shows and stuff. And it's not a knock on Bakersfield because like the whole like acoustic thing or Americana thing, where people are playing like more of a sit down venue or something like that. That's going great as far as places to play, and that's not a complaint because I love that too. But I've been playing rock and roll since I was in high school, and it would be nice to see there more. And props to the places that are housing rock and roll bands. So it's not a knock on them either, but we need some more spots to play. And so like, I'm hoping that, man, if we get to play in the Nile, that means like stacks could be turned up very loud.
Absolutely.
Because it's a big room. That's a thing that we like, loud tube amps.
We do like it. Yeah.
So,
Well, so I started playing locally, solo stuff like in 2021, I think. So it's been about 2 years. So I'm learning like the bands and I'm learning, venues and stuff like that. And honestly, like, there's nowhere to play it. There is.
There is. It's different. Dan would attest this. We come from a time where I'm not the oldest dude around, right? But like, I just remember when I was in high school, you were the oldest dude. But we had, it was all the time, like 10 bands at Jerry's and the Gate and then the Studio 59 or whatever. It wasn't even
like, oh, what's going on? You just went downtown because there was something going on.
And there's something going on. Yeah. Chances are there'd be cool local acts and some band that was pretty big, for lack of a better way to put it, that would be playing there.
On their way up or on their way down?
On their way up or down, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was constant, and it'd be packed all the time, and there was just you're always around musicians, and there's always bands going. And I can't say numerically there was like a whole crap load of different places to play, but there was a good 4 or 5, at least my time, between like when I would go to Jerry's Pizza a lot.
Yeah.
I want to say between I think I started going there in 2001, and then between 2008 is when I kind of stopped going there for a couple years. And then, by the time I came back to playing music, it was all about Sandrini's and Riley's and the Mint and stuff when 2012 or 13, and then if you go to the South Side, it was B Riders and blah, blah, blah. But what I'm getting at though, is there was always cool places to play where you knew there was going to be music, even, when I took a little hiatus and came back. And then there's stuff going on like Narducci's, Riley's is having a little bit, but it's not like there's always a constant. It's not a constant.
Yeah.
You don't know if there's going to be a turnout. You know what I mean? That's different now for the hard rock stuff.
It almost seems like now, like there are venues. There's Riley's, Narducci's, Tembler.
Yes.
Jerry's. I don't want to forget anybody.
Right, yeah, and props to them.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's a Friday night, there's something going on.
Exactly. Because there might be a lot of Friday nights, and then again, it's no knock on any business at all, but there might not be a band at Tembler on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And there might not be a band on any of those 4 places you just brought up on a Friday night. And that's just I'm not used to that, and I don't particularly like it. I'm not trying to. So I guess what I'm getting at, I mean, I cut you off, but what I'm getting at is partially maybe wishful thinking, but maybe not. It would be super cool if the Nile ended up kind of being a spot where something someday regular happened. I understand that may not happen, but one can dream.
Well, I think the hope for me, besides, I love playing shows.
Sure.
So
me too. Yeah.
I'll just make my own show. All right.
Right.
But and then have my buddies play with me.
Yeah.
But my hope is that doing something like that on a so I played this place, the Backstage. They're awesome, but no one, it's newer, and it's not like a Jerry's where it's like, oh yeah, I know it's right downtown.
Yeah.
So my hope is that doing a concentrated, with different genres, all in the rock genre, so to speak, but different genres, different kinds of bands at the Nile, which is a landmark.
Yeah.
That it will be like kind of.
I mean, my band's definitely not rock, but most.
Well, but I mean, you rock, so.
I mean, yeah.
So
I just don't want people to be disappointed when the opening act is like, what is this?
Just play your songs twice as fast.
There you go. That's what we'll do.
But my hope is that people, they know the Nile, so they'll go to a show at the Nile, see like, well, dang, Bakersfield has a lot of great bands, and then other venues and stuff can be sort of revitalized by that, and kind of get a second wind of like, yes, there are a lot of really good bands.
There is.
And like I said, I wish I could include more bands.
Sure.
And I'm going a lot with rosters and bands that I played with because I'm still learning.
Because you have the connections already.
Yeah, I'm still learning bands. There's a lot of bands I just don't know yet. I haven't played with.
Because we haven't even known each other super long, but we see each other relatively consistently now at the coffee shop, and we played a show together. So it's like it just kind of becomes natural to ask who you're kind of already been communicating with, or you just
talk to the people you know first.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to get a tattoo. You ask someone, where'd you get your tattoo?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hoping that could be like a concentrated thing of okay, now this is doable.
Yeah,
we could do this.
So this is going to kind of like. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. It's going to kind of bank on, not solely, but maybe partially on kind of how this is. If 5 people show up, then, not good. But if
5 people show up, because there's 12 people playing, I think. So
yeah,
I was gonna say, I will personally guarantee 5 because there's 5 people in my band. We'll be.
Yeah, no, I don't really know. I think it's still one of those things where.
But I mean, it might make Matt interested if in a fantasy fairy tale, and if 300 people show up, he's gonna be like, huh,
hey,
right?
That's what I'm going for.
Right. Yeah. I like to be pessimistic until I get proof. Yeah.
I believe for 300 people, it would feel amazing, and
let's do it.
The bands are worth it, dude. The bands are great, and it definitely won't hurt.
No.
Doing it again.
Music is artistry, but there is a profit-seeking entity supporting the show, so stands to reason that if they make money on it, they'll do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta to pay bills, you have to make a profit.
Yeah,
so that makes it makes sense.
The Nile's cool too because it's such a different type of venue. So I've done Jerry's a few times, and the Backstage, and I've done Riley's, and they all have their own kind of thing. Like Riley's, when we played together, people just come up off the street and before you know it, we have a pretty good sized crowd just because they can hear it.
Yep. Yeah.
But the Nile is a whole different. It's a different type of building. It's a different space. It's not the Fox where it's like intimidating. Obviously, you get up there. We've played the Fox for a live stream, and the thing they allowed like 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was so weird. Like
really
playing this gigantic stage and having 10 people go.
Yeah. My buddy Eric's like,
I did almost that. Only I think it was like 30 people at the Fox once.
Yeah.
And,
Dude, 30 people would have been wonderful.
It was fun, but it's like,
sick.
we get done with the song and I was like, this is kind of awkward. Yeah.
But the Nile is a great venue for a mid-sized like type of band to go in there. And you put 200 people. I mean, we've been there to church and stuff, and 200, 300 people. It feels awesome, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's cool.
It's got a balcony. It's rad.
That'd be super cool. It'd be kind of like, again, if it took off, it'd be like weird in a cool way. It's like there's this massive place, relatively speaking, you know what I mean, that we get to play at, and we're just local.
Well, that honestly was like,
and I feel like the building would draw, and you could put like you did it smart. You put like 5 bands on the bill, and you know what I mean. Everybody brings their friends, hopefully.
Well, a lot of it was, I also I asked Modern Wives because they're my friends, but I also was like, I really want to give these dudes a chance to play their music at the Nile, not just worship or whatever. Yeah. And like Dropping In is playing as well, and you and Band Rafters, and so I want to give these bands like a chance to play on that stage. Yeah, it's an actual stage.
Yeah, it's actual stage. There'll be monitors of some kind, or maybe in-ear pieces.
We're using in-ears, so like
for sure doing in-ears now.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah, so you get to use wireless in-ears.
I've never got to use in-ears ever. You know,
I just for me it's like even though I'm not Bakersfield native and I'm still like a new guy in the music scene. I've only been really playing for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I have this ability to give this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to be able to give bands a chance to like use in-ear monitors and play on a stage with multiple subwoofers.
Yeah.
And screens with your name on it.
Yeah.
I'm having photographers come out. We're gonna have Bakersfield Sound's gonna do videography.
Sweet.
Like it's gonna be sick. And so,
what are they gonna film? Like certain songs or the whole set or
certain songs?
Certain songs.
Yeah, I think they capture like a song or two.
That's so cool.
A photographer, all that stuff. So it's rad. And I wanted it to be local because. I could have just been like, well, let's fork out some money and get an out-of-towner band that people know. I was like, no, we need it. No, our bands can hang. Yeah. They can. Trust me. Like, Dan knows. We can hang. Yeah. So, it's going to be a cool Bakersfield night at the Nile.
I've never played the Nile, obviously. Like I said, they barely had anything venue-wise anyway. It barely had anything going since
I told you that.
Playing music as far as like...
The story when I first got here and I was, the guys at Front Porch, they found out I was working there. Yeah. Like, you doing the music now? I was like, yeah. I'm like, how come you don't do shows? I was like, what's up? My name's Nate. Nice to meet you. I've been here for 4 hours. Because they just wanted that. Yeah. And so now I'm going to.
Well, everybody say every time I bring it up, even if they're not even a musician, they're like, oh, that's going to be.
I'm excited to go back over to the Front Porch and be like, hey, can we hang this poster up, bro?
Do it. Yeah.
We're doing a show.
Hey, It only took 6 years. We're doing it.
That'd be so cool. And what kind of, what would you call your, want to go through a quick description of the band so people can kind of like a rough, come listen for yourself.
Yes, Dan.
But I hate this question.
I know you hate this question, but there's people that like it. What would you, cheese ball umbrella genre, what would you call your band? Couple of them.
I guess I would have to say indie pop.
Indie pop? There you go, with some distorted guitars.
Yeah.
There you go.
Aggressive indie pop.
Aggressive indie pop?
Yeah, we're very loud, distorted guitars. But
vocal harmonies.
We have a beautiful, lovely singer, and then we have me. And
I think your voice sounded great.
Almost
I liked your
beautiful.
voice. I thought it was doing great. It's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Band of Rafters.
The Band Rafters.
The Band Rafters. So what would you say they sound like?
He actually asked me this question because they were trying to figure it out. I was like, you remind me of 30 Seconds to Mars a little bit.
Okay.
And he's like, or The Killers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Sweet.
I was trying to move away from that. I'm like, oh, sorry. That's just what it sounds like.
Yeah.
They're
that's a big compliment.
It's a great compliment. Man. It's sort of like The Killers. It's like melodic pop rock kind of thing. It's
sweet.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Sweet. Would you say they're they got pop elements, so pop and not as heavy as Modern Wives?
They're heavy in a different way.
Heavy in a different way. Okay.
So like I think, and obviously this is outside perspective. Modern Wives always reminded me of sort of like in that the Smashing Pumpkins kind of heavy, where it's like a lot of the work is done with guitar tones and things like that. Where Band Raptors, some of their heavy parts are done with like drop tunings and like halftime
different way to do it,
breakdown type stuff.
Yeah.
So they're both heavy in a different way. It's like the same way Rage Against the Machine is like super heavy band.
Yeah.
And so is like, I don't know.
Pantera.
I was gonna say like early Bring Me the Horizon or something like that. They're heavy in a different
I
way.
know what you mean.
So that's just kind of
different techniques of being heavy, I guess you could say. And then your band is what would you call the Nate Parrish project? Nate Parrish band at this point, I guess.
It's kind of like a melodic punk thing. Yeah. I'm gonna try to ask other people because
is Face to Face again? I wouldn't say you sound like that, but is that a good one to bring up for influence?
Yeah, sort of like Face to Face meets Social Distortion.
Kind of
a little bit of that kind of vibe, 90s pop punk in there.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
And then there's, am I missing one?
Dropping In.
Oh yeah, duh, yeah.
Was Dropping In? I think. What would you say? The pop punk.
Pop punks.
Maybe
the record sounded
in the vein of Green Day, maybe ish.
Yeah, this is just crazy good punk.
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, their album they did with. I remember I went over to Kyle's house and he's like, "Hey, I did some tracks and we listened to one." It was when he was still editing it or I don't know what he was doing. He's doing his Kyle wizardry or whatever, and we were driving to Kernville to play a duo gig or something like that. And I remember hearing him not mixed, and I was like, I never really heard him before. And I was like, "How old are these guys?"
Yeah,
I know. It's like they're like 21 or whatever, or not even that. And I was like,
19, 20.
They were 17 when they did that record, I think.
I just remember because when they were going to record drums, John rolled up because his son's the drummer, John Walker.
Yeah.
And then we're hanging out, and then I left before they started tracking, and then I just remember hearing that. And I was like, oh, I wish I was that good when I was 17 years old.
Yeah, I didn't even have a guitar.
They're really good, man. Yeah.
That was like, I think the first time Modern Wives saw Dropping In, we were all just standing in the back of the room like, they have no right to be this good.
No, when I was 17, I was making weird noises with like a drummer in my garage. You know what I mean? It was terrible.
Yeah, they have fully formed songs with wonderful harmonies and awesome parts.
And I could barely talk when I was that age.
Great freaking syncopation.
Yeah.
So good.
So it's going to be a diverse show.
Yeah.
And Michael and the Monsters.
Michael and the Monsters.
It's going to technically...
You guys are like death metal, right?
Yeah, we're like Norwegian death metal. There'll be some
I love it.
goat heads on pikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the front of the stage. No, I'm joking. No, but country, western. I'm going to play my original tunes. That's the best I know how to say it. There's people that know more about the genre that might get mad at me for saying that, but some of them sound more country than not.
But you play both kinds of music.
Yes.
Country and western.
Yeah, exactly.
Country and western together.
Yeah,
in that order.
We have one tune that was, I could say, more of a western song in the sense of there's like a historical story, and then there's one just about weird people. You know, I guess that's like more of a country tune.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with you.
You get the idea.
I don't know. I didn't know there was a difference between country and western.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you didn't grow up here.
Yeah, that's true. I grew up in the north. Yeah,
there's definitely
the Bay.
Well, we can get another time, but cowboy stories are more western.
Okay,
right?
I understand.
Like Marty Robbins. I'm not an expert. Run it by ask Flint Scalindo. He'll be able to tell you better. But like Marty Robbins, Eddie Arnold, I think that's western music. And then those guys also put out records and/or songs that were also country too.
Gotcha.
But like I know Marty Robbins' Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs is like a western music album, I believe so.
Love it.
Yeah, and then country's like Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Again, I'm not an expert. Ask Vince. He knows. So,
I've never met Vince, but I know who he is.
Oh, he's a great guy. Great singer too.
Yeah, I heard him on your podcast.
All the country songs.
Yeah,
and he sings them. So he's one of the guys. He's like one of my local music heroes. So like when I listened to country for quite a while, but I didn't feel compelled to play it as a lead guitar player, if you will. And then because I was just into the Les Paul Marshall really loud thing, and then but when I had to sell my gear and all that stuff, I started singing. I kind of took to I want to sing country music. So
that was an interesting transition though, because I mean you're a shredder. Like,
you are. Everybody thought of me
rock guitarist, and then
I still love. And I didn't understand that people would see it because you're not the only one. I didn't understand that people would see it that way until I did it.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, the people that are close, they know I listened to some Merle Haggard, and of course my grandfather got me into Cash, is what kind of opened that all up for me when I was 17 years old or so. And so I always liked that, and I was always listening to that in some lesser known groups. But but like I said, I just didn't play it on lead guitar. I mean, I played in the Iron Outlaws, like the closest thing, for a while there. But I was still lead guitar player. And then it didn't other people saw it as a little bit weird. And to me, I get it now, but I didn't think of that as like weird because it's my own head, right? I'm like, well, of course I'm going to sing this. You know what I mean?
It's weird, but it's interesting. And you do both so well.
Thank you.
You have a gorgeous voice.
It took me, it wasn't like that the first about 100 solo shows. I sounded like an idiot and sometimes still do, but it's getting better. And like I did like a Thursday, had a gig Thursday through today, and I still got one tomorrow. And I noticed that the more days in a row I knock out a 2 or 3 hour set, I keep sounding better and better. So that
it's crazy when you practice. You get better at stuff.
I just learned that. Yeah, so I'm gonna start practicing.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna start, and we'll see what happens.
It helps a lot. So it's gonna be a diverse group, and this will be the first time that Michael and the Monsters last year was kind of like a hodgepodge. It wasn't really a band. I just got guys that like if a venue's like, hey, played solo, do you want to come? You got a band? Didn't want to tell them no. Sure. So I'd be like, well, how much are you going to pay? Because I got to hire these guys. And that was kind of how that went. And me and Kyle Appleton committed Country Music Blasphemy, and I played lead guitar, and it was a mess, and he played bass. And so I was like, no more of that, Kyle. You're on lead from now on. So that's singing and playing lead guitar at the same time is a terrible. And country is different. I don't care. It's similar, but it's different. Like I don't have that in my fingers. It's different than doing the rock thing.
It's a whole other level.
Very hard. And but anyway. So this is the first time we played with this lineup that's, hopefully going to be the lineup.
This is your debut show.
So
it's another reason to come.
Yep. First time we're outside of John Hamilton's bedroom. Yeah,
I like how you put. I asked you for bio, and that's what you put. Like, so this is their bio.
Yeah.
They used to play in this bedroom, but now they don't.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to rehearse.
Wow.
Somewhere, But yeah, that's what's going to go on, and the bands are cool. And is there going to be any like taco stands or anything? Are we not doing that? Or I'm genuinely asking for me because I don't know what's going on yet.
I tossed around the idea. I got a buddy who's a barbecue master, and he does that. And then we're like, let's keep it simple.
Sure.
But in the future, that'd be something. There'll be like refreshments and stuff like that. Yeah. And like I mentioned, Bakersfield Sound will be out there with a table and doing some giveaway stuff.
Are we gonna be able to put flyers on the Fox? That probably would be weird, huh?
No, I think I'm pretty sure they will.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sponsored by the Fox. I mean, it's
And you're designing the flyer, you said, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you already did.
Yeah, all this stuff.
Yeah. I forgot. I know I posted it. What does it look like again?
It's just all of our faces floating in the sky.
That's right.
In front of the Nile. Yeah.
In front of the Nile.
That's right. I don't have a picture of our bass player, so
I had to do some clever editing with your picture because there's the three of you, but you were like all standing like 12 feet apart.
and the bass,
all right, here we go.
And the bass player in that picture is not even the bass player. He just was recording.
You should tell me. I would have just photoshopped some stranger's face on there.
Yeah, that would have been fun. That'd been a good idea, actually. Well, so let's get into the. How long have we been doing this? We got on 30 minutes now.
Yeah, we're at 30 minutes.
Oh, so this is perfect. So let's get into we kind of talked about all this stuff already, but I'm a scatterbrained host sometimes. I don't have as much practice as doing these bonus episodes.
You're doing so good.
Am I doing all right?
Your voice is so sweet and sultry.
There you go. Well, then I guess we can just quit now. Let's end.
I have a little boy's voice compared to Michael.
So where we can find it at?
Excuse me.
Yes. Anyway, it's all good. I do that all the time. I hit that spring. Man, I do it every time.
That's okay. I gotta get rid of that squeak too.
I try not to move. It's so hard.
Whose chair is that?
It's mine.
Thinking it's mine.
Check this out.
Yeah.
It's bigger guys. Cause it's funny. These smaller musicians that sit there, it's not as bad.
At least there's no music going on this time.
But Nate and Joe Peters, when he was here playing, he was like squeaking all over.
6'3", 225.
Joe Peters is about the same damn size.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be super still. Now that I know it's your chair, I can move.
Yeah, you can.
I started out still, but then my back hurt, so I adjusted.
I'm gonna try really hard. Here we go.
So
go.
July 1st.
Yes.
What time?
Doors at 6, shows at 7.
So that means really the doors at 5:30, shows at 6:30, because people are always late to these kind of things.
They better not be.
Yeah, I know. Man,
they'll.
Definitely be there by 6:30.
Yeah, the latest.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and band load-in times, in case any band members listen to this, we want to be there at 5:30.
Yeah. We're doing a 1 load-in, 1 o'clock load-in.
1 o'clock. Okay, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Cool. And then how does the night? Are we park in the back, or how does that even work? I don't even know.
Oh, you don't
there
think
is
you
no back.
can park in the back?
We just go in the front.
Yeah.
Lug our stuff.
I mean, there's
That's
no
okay.
other.
Yeah.
You can load in the alleyway.
Okay.
So we do have access to the alleyway, and we have like that back. There's a back room where we can load in, and
the bands are
storage
going
back
to
there.
be sound checking it around the load after the load in, or are we going to sound check right before, or is there even going to be one?
I'm not 100% sure. I think because we're working out logistics, trying to keep switch over as quick and painless as possible. But I think it's going to be a lot of we'll do some pre-show work on the in-ears, which Band Rafters is graciously.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, they're doing that for us. So we'll have.
I have no fungus in my ears.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm good.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then so that'll save us some time, but it's going to be a lot of running through a song, like running a part of a song and then playing.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Festival style a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally cool. And then, and then we will go on at 7, and the set time, each band will be like 30 minutes. Was it?
Yeah. You guys are from 7 to 7:08. So you guys. What did I put? You guys have.
How you guys doing?
That's enough.
That's almost time for 3 Roscoe songs.
Yeah,
do
pretty
3
much. Actually, it is. We have 3 songs. We could do that. We could have done 3. Yeah.
A lot of them country and western songs are pretty short too.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're gonna have to stick to either country or western.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah.
I believe it was 25 minutes.
Okay,
for the first 2.
So nice and quick, and we
I'll
want
have
to
to go back and look at
bands
it.
want to pick your punchiest stuff, so that way you get in there and get
We're
make it
adding
loud
some
and aggressive.
songs because my songs are fast, so it's like the average is like 3 minutes or something like that, and so adding some songs in. But
Cool. And then that's gonna be cool. That won't keep people on their toes, I guess. The bands will just get in there, knock out their 20. Be like old school. That's like Jerry's or the Gate or something like that. And remember, just bands like the Chaos. Only it's gonna be like a bigger stage and be able to do it better. Cool.
Hopefully.
yeah, it's a big stage. It's a really fun stage. I mean, we
Hit up Nate Parrish on Instagram if you have any questions, if you're in the band. Because he does everything. Overload his Instagram inbox.
just explode the DMs. It's great.
And then someday we'll get your guys' bands on here. Of course, Modern Wives, come check them out. They're great too.
Yep.
And I think that's all the details. I'm not missing anything.
Tickets are $15.
Oh, yeah.
They're on sale now. So you can, if you go to the Fox, you can get them at the box office. You can also, or the Fox office. Have you guys thought about that? Matt, you're listening.
About that.
You can go to the box office or on their website.
Okay.
And then stay tuned for some giveaways from different
Shirts or something.
businesses and stuff that are going to do some ticket giveaways.
Sweet. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Announced on the radio or Facebook or.
It's been on the news.
Oh, really? Wait, it's already been on the news?
They spelled my name wrong, but it's fine.
What news channel was
Turnabout
it?
is fair play.
I can't believe I did this, but when I posted it, I misspelled Modern Wives. Like, how do you even?
I saw that in the text thread.
And then I was like,
he sent out the poster and he said, "Can everybody post this?" And I was like, "Can you spell our name first?"
I saw that,
and then I was like,
and the Fox posted it spelled Modern
immediately. Yeah. No one noticed it. Including
I didn't notice it till I had to read it 3 times after I saw you say that on the text.
So it was the same way, dude. It's my band name, and I was like, something doesn't look
weird.
right.
Well, you know, if anyone's a graphic designer out there, like we're all probably experienced this. When you're going over graphics for so long and you're looking at words for so long, they start to not be words anymore.
It's like imagine mixing an album
and
or
so
something like that.
I had looked at that for, I don't know, 100, and just never noticed it. So anyways,
it's always the client's responsibility to
thank
read
you.
over
Thank you, Alan.
We know that.
But I didn't show them. I just posted it. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, but have you thought about changing it to Modern Wives? So
You mean Modern?
Modern, yeah. Just hear me out.
It's more Spanish like that.
Modern Wives.
Modern Wives.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just think about it, and we can change it back.
Yeah.
But so that stuff is posted. But yeah, I was like, I pulled over. I was driving. I pulled over and was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I pulled out my laptop and.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was.
Thank you.
No, I was like, this is.
So everybody, now that your band name is spelled correctly, everybody can come to the show. It'll be a better show now. We'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Modern Wives is way better than Modern
Dude,
Wives.
I've seen Modern Wives. They're terrible. Modern Wives is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So follow Modern Wives. Follow the Band Rafters. dropping in. Nate Parrish, Michael and the Monsters. You have the Instagram.
It's Michael Peters _ and the Monsters, because Michael and the Monsters got hacked last November.
Oh no!
So if you see Michael and the Monsters, just report it, and that way Instagram still won't do anything about it.
It's been a year,
even though since November.
What are you posting? Like pyramid scheme things on that Instagram now, or what?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Last time it was Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Bitcoin.
I think I invested some money.
Wait, that wasn't you?
Yeah, right. I know, because I do all the Bitcoin stuff.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I lost so much money.
Yeah,
I lost so much of my Bitcoins.
Yeah. I thought I was buying clothes, and I clicked the link, and it was around Christmas time. I was to buy some clothes for my daughter. Turns out this person had their account hacked too, and I didn't know that. And the timing was weird because I just saw this person like a day before. They're like, "Hey, I'm selling some clothes." Like, well, makes sense. I haven't seen him in a year. I bumped into him yesterday. Buy my daughter something for Christmas while I'm thinking about it. Support local.
Wow.
3 seconds after a thing pops up, your phone's been hacked from blah, blah, blah in LA. Not even joking.
Oh my
Lost
gosh.
it. Had like 50 people probably report it, maybe 30 or so. A bunch of people reported it. I reported it, I think, every day for a couple months.
They don't care.
They don't care about me.
Yeah, never buy clothes from our Bands of Bakersfield account, okay?
No. Don't buy Bit clothes from anything.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, if you see an ad for Bit clothes, don't click on it.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, Michael Peters _ and the Monsters is the official one. The other one, just report it. And that's it. And Alan's got to say stuff because I always forget.
Yeah, because
I'm terrible with this
Do it,
part.
Alan.
It's become my thing now. So,
Yeah. We get to hear his voice.
Yeah, and so you can find Bands of Bakersfield at Bands of Bakersfield on Instagram. It's also Bands of Bakersfield on Facebook, Bands of Bako on Twitter, and bandsofbakersfield.com. And you should actually go there if you want to know more about these bands, because most of these bands that are out there should have their profiles up on the website. And if they don't,
These are horrible people.
They better get them up.
I got mine.
But yeah, go find bands. There's band profiles up there. Any bands that are adding their events up on the website.
Follow us on YouTube, Bands of Bakersfield.
Yeah, YouTube, Bands of Bakersfield for the podcast, and just Bands of Bakersfield.
Alrighty.
Bands of Bakersfield.
You guys have anything you think we need to add? Or are we good?
I'm just looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's gonna be sick. We'll see you at the show.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll get you guys on another time. We'll feature your bands. Take care, guys. Go to the Nile, July 1st, 6. There you go.
I'm just gonna say, you know what? Show's at 6.
Buy your tickets at the Fox office.
The Fox office.
And later, goodbye. We're done.